They're going to need to step it up massively moving on to this map.
Yeah, they're also a team that a lot of the time will come in with a different map pool to a Masters event. Like, they like to switch things up, so I'm not really too worried about that aspect of it. If they're willing to play this map, they're probably going to be decent at it. RB, well, he's been an expert with that frenzy thus far in the series. Ardis denies.
Very aggressive push, but now they know this. Oh, no. Zest taken down. Great heaven control from Cider still. Damage done to Stax. He's on 22. Mako quite low as well. As FPX sit with the man advantage, they don't need to hurry on in, but it's Buzz that I'm worried about. He's still got all those Headhunter bullets primed and ready. A few fire off, and they don't land their mark. Ardis punishes Stax. Now we really need to see it go huge for Buzz. There's one as he tries to protect Mako, but now he's surrounded. Oh, God. An awkward fight that Angel comes out on top in, and 1-0 for FPX. Another pistol under their belt.
Yeah. Just about, especially with the way that started. It looked like it was going to be a relatively clean round for FPX, but DRX do fight back. Now, the dynamic of this map, I think, will have changed a little bit just because of the agents that are currently being brought in. You have to highlight Buzz this time. Like, in the previous map, he's on a Killjoy. A lot of the time, he's trying to hold those flanks. He's got the delay utility. He even plays afterplant a lot of the time on the attacking side. Now he's going to be one of those like front-facing players. And I think that he was someone coming into the tournament that had incredibly high ACS when it comes to this agent in particular. Ardis didn't make the list. He has basically said since the beginning of the tournament, by the end of it, he will.
Yeah, he is quite a thing for lists, Ardis. He was left off a couple of those top 20 players coming in, and he's not too happy about that. Quick play out of DRX, indeed. They've gotten the B site with their force buy, their plants. I'm not sure if it's guaranteed at this point. FPX have a choice to try and fight, but I doubt it. When you're hearing all these Spectres on the other side, you're going to want to slow it down a little bit. That C's not keeping them quiet. Oh, not close enough, but Zipan lands a few bullets to take Stax down.
Yeah, there was only really one spot he could be if he's caught by that C's, and Zipan's able to isolate. Now, they do have one player only on a pistol, that's Angel, but there is a rifle also in play as well, and there it is. Ardis already finding one. This force not going amazingly well, and Ardis even swinging into the smoke, giving them that angle. Do they still expect Zest to be here? It seems like they do. Zipan catching another, and now Mako 1 versus 4. Nade even coming back online to shut him out of this position, and they're just defusing all the way. FPX barely lose anyone. Do you know what's funny? I think they lost less players in their Antico rounds when their opponents bought than when they didn't buy in the last map.
That is very true. I don't think that's even a thought, Tom. That is a fact. They came out of that one looking better than most of the rounds in the previous map. A 2-0 for FPX, but DRX now kind of left to give them a third. After force buying it and finding literally no success. It's one of the worst starts to a map that you could really get. And right here, you got to sit back, Tom, and say, well, DRX need to do a lot of damage in this round to make up for it. Like, they fumbled a little bit in the previous, and it leaves them in this awkward position where they really don't want FPX to be steaming ahead in economy, especially not with these kind of buys that FPX take, where you can see coming into this round, they've got 2 rifles, and Ardis is about to have a tour de force.
With that's the big thing, is that Ardis is tour de force. Ardis just in general on this map, I think it's, especially on the defensive side, it's a Chambers paradise. Like, this map gives you so many opportunities to take battles at range, but also reposition into new spots. Now, this is a little bit dangerous. Buzz is already going to get that opener, and Cider under pressure here again. That frenzy comes through. I don't even know why they invest into that second round when they're so damn good with these pistols.
It's such a disaster. A gap left for a player to sneak onto the side, and a lost fight for Ardis that concedes a rifle, a frenzy up close, and we know just how deadly it is regardless of range.
They're going to flawless this round. Are they actually going to flawless this round?
Look, with how low they are, 1 shot needed from Angel. Maybe he gets 1 or 2, but even still, the fact that DRX are making this costly would have been huge.
Makes no sense.
Winning it flawlessly is just, it's inconceivable. I'm finished trying to predict what happens in this game. Ecos, economy, none of it matters. Ults, don't know, don't care. The impact comes from the players in the moment every single round.
Now, in this scenario, obviously, DRX want to hunt as much as humanly possible. If Angel is saving, that means he has a rifle. They don't have many rifles, so it's not actually going to be the flawless in the end because RB will go down, but it's as good as it gets for them. Huge entry from Buzz, but yeah, as you said, I really don't like this setup. And I think a lot of it actually came down to the fact that Artis had the TP really early. So because he has to leave, he's now out of position when they go pushing into the site, and just how rapid DRX were is enough to give them the round.
Well, one that we thought would be almost guaranteed. Concede a third, I said. Demanded of DRX, and well, they denied. And now we'll look at another pretty quick push, at least attempt out of DRX off the bat. Going to the B site, fast lane up, making their way inside, are about to have another fight on his hands. This is more of an execution. They cleanly get themselves onto the site. Artis' tour de force available, but, well, they were all suppressed for quite a bit, so it wasn't going to be finding anything.
To the full-on retake. Obviously this time, some weaponry at least in the hands of DRX, but SMGs for the majority. The main worry is the fact that Marco is there with his orbital strike, and while with Zipan falling, it's starting to really slip away from them here. And you can see Marco's just waiting with that orbital strike. The second anybody touches that defuse, but they are starting to pick them apart. And I think that realization is coming from Xiao that they need to clear this player out. He fails to do it this time, though. The operator shot not being connected either. Marco actually doing the damage with his SMG. And Cider, he's run out of time. He's baited them in at least. Marco will probably go down to the spike, which is at least a silver lining. In fact, they both fall, which is something for FPX to play around, but their economy is in the bin.
Yes, and for the 2-0 start, and as I said, possibly the worst start to a map that you could get for DRX, they have recovered that pretty nicely. And almost karma for the previous map on FPX's part.
The way really clean from Marco as well. The whiff shot is unfortunate, but they're both sprinting at him, so you can't really be blamed. But
they also had the reveal up, right? They just seen him with the Haunt, so it's a pre-fire, and you're pinpoint accurate on that pre-fire.
Go, go, go.
Interesting buy from the defensive side. You're going to judge 2 rifles and 2 sheriffs.
Yeah, but look where that judge is. It's because of what RB has been doing in the last 3 rounds. It's just either he sneaks up B and then runs into the tower, or he sprints up B and, yeah, you guessed it, he runs into the tower. So they've just basically put a judge there as almost a freebie kill. Even if he gets stunned, you're still going to have that first bullet.
No, he can also shift very slowly through the B side from Arcade and then run into Heaven.
That was my first option.
Many aspects. Slow and steady wins the race for RB this time, though. He's pumped the brakes. He's waiting. I don't want to make too many mistakes up against this kind of a buy. Eventually, they're going to be grouped and going for it. Northside secure with the trap they've got. Not too worried about their back for now. Time is on their side. In they go. Judge ready, but it doesn't hit.
He's even stunned up as well, I think. He was stunned up. It's just the first bullet accuracy of RB is off the charts. He's been superb so far in this attack, and they have now had 3 different players in the tower. Cider the first time, Angel the second time, Artis the third time, and they've all just probably realized now is, actually, it doesn't matter who we put up there. We're going to get a bullet in the face.
And your best thing is, normally when there's a guy up there with a judge, he is staring at the rope. He's staring at it hard. But this time, you're literally trying to counter RB, hitting him with a stun, everything. What else can you do at this point? I actually don't think you can have a better util counter and setup, but he still wins the fights. And that's been RB so far in this series. Cider's left to save this rifle on the A side.
Point. That must have been his own stun. So he stunned himself almost like as a deterrent. Like, I'm going to play this on hard mode because there's no one on the other
left
side
that bottom stairs, I think, on the way through.
Yeah, he got stunned by himself and still hit the instant headshot.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let's have a look. Got it here.
Yep, stunned. Stuns himself. Instant headshot.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So even when he makes a mistake, it's almost part of the plan. Something else. 3-2. DRX are now in the lead after losing the pistol, force buying round 2, and losing that flawlessly, essentially. It got absolutely stomped. And now they're winning.
Yeah, and their economy is off the charts. Like, they are so well off financially. Now, in terms of ults for FPX, you do have a showstopper, but wow, a complete change of pace, running straight in towards this position. They clear Xiao and Zipan like it's nothing. It's like there was no one there to begin with. almost looking like they're playing a retake and just a couple of players left. All right, Angel completely blind, and Buzz will eventually put him in his place. It leaves the rotating players, and part of me wonders if it's even worth rotating.
Yeah, I do wonder if Cider was almost playing from the perspective of just catching some exits there.
Yeah.
But that rifle, it falls for nothing, leaving Artis in a really tough position to try and save this. He'll go looking for Mako, maybe a little closer than he's expecting, but the shot is connected. TP back's not going to be that safe. I doubt he even manages. I doubt he even uses it, decides to. And they're grouping up from all sides. They want to make sure that Artis isn't taking this weapon through to the next round. And okay, good recovery. He hits the shot with the Headhunter and connects onto Buzz. Okay, he will get through with the Operator, if he wants to. As long as he doesn't go swinging out wide. Making it costly, getting the exits that maybe Cider was going out there looking for. It's a positive, it's a silver lining for FPX, but it's definitely not putting a smile on their face just yet. They're in some pretty dire straits.
No, these rounds have been so clean, just in terms of the takes out from DRX, no angle left unchecked, but also it's just the pace that's coming through from RB to give them that extra space. Like, you look at the statistics right now, it doesn't tell you a story of how pivotal that man has been to actually just basically garner them everything that they need. And then everyone's been on point so far. Marco sat there 7-3, Buzz performing. It is worrying for FPX the way that they've just dismantled everything they've attempted so far, and you know what? They're going to take a pause for it.
It is 100% the right call. At this point, with the start that they had, there's no way that FPX are content with their performance, and you can see the entire team sitting there attentively listening. There's a big change is about to come to this defensive side. On a map like Fractured, you have got a ton of options in how you want to deal with your opponents. So many laneways on this map, and the other thing for DRX, we've seen a lot of these rounds have been like very, I would say, one-dimensional in terms of where they're pushing from. They're going towards the B side pretty much every single time. When they're going that way, it's B main, rarely even seeing players up and around Arcade with that north side trap that they had. From FPX's perspective, I think that the issue is information. It's that they're sitting there waiting for DRX's execute, and when it's coming in, it's too strong to handle. So we need to see FPX find a solution a little bit earlier.
Well, once again, there is no brakes on the RB train. Yep, he stunned himself once more, at least slowing things down a little bit, but the ult's gonna be bombed! He just shredded them! Absolutely shredded them. Angel gone, and while they can just spam this overdrive into the smoke, of course it's based on time, no bullets within it. They can just hold them back that little bit longer. Artis might even just consider about bringing this Operator into the next round again, but if he gets a couple of kills, Tour de Force instead, much of a muchness.
There's so many things about that, Tom, that I didn't enjoy, but did at the same time. RB, 7 HP, but they've not lost a single man on this push. The B side had been easy. Now the A side seems to be the same. Artis is saving this Operator. I mean, there's no way. But the rest of the team, you go out, you try to do damage. It's not worth saving whatever you've got. But in the end, they yield nothing. That's a Prime Gaming flawless for DRX. Off the back of one of the most ludicrous Neon pushes I've ever seen. I mean, we can sit back and say there's many players out there that play Neon incredibly well. I don't know if I want to call that well from RB. He stuns himself, pops out into the open, triggers the ult then, activates it, still gets the kill, and damn near the second as well. Buzz getting there first, but I just don't understand when I'm watching this guy. It's like, you know, you expect, if you pause at any point and go, what happens next?
I feel this almost seems like one of those moments, you know, when like a parent like says to their kid, like, go nuts. Like, it's almost like a, yeah, but be a little bit more tempted. Yeah, but in this case, I think it's just Zest saying that, and RB goes, oh, really? He's like, yeah, go for it. And he's just in the site within a matter of seconds. Like, as said, he's not at the top of the board, but he is doing so much work for the team, just in terms of his space taking. He has been superb in both maps so far today, and I don't know if there's a response. Artis has at least been able to do damage when he's in the right place. He has not been in the right place in almost every round.
This could be it. Artis, though, finally staring down on the right angle. RB just around the corner. The speed that he takes this corner is really what's jarring. And a good jump peek to start with, and a missed shot after. RB just cannot miss as he misses.
And he's still gonna get the kill. He's still gonna get the kill. Just overwhelming Cider. I am gobsmacked that
He's 10 HP again.
Well, no, that's the thing. I am gobsmacked by the fact that Ardis sticks around there. It doesn't TP away. Like, he maybe just wanted to try and get something done for the team because they haven't been able to hold with these fast-paced pushes, but it's getting absurd with how easily they're able to just isolate these duels, and it seems like FPX just can't play against Neon. They just can't do it.
4 kills. He was 10 HP in both of those last fights. 10 HP.
Yep.
And a Prime Gaming flawless that comes out of it. Just stop. Just stop, RB. I mean, we said last map, yeah, nerf this guy, but at this point, nerf this guy. And I think that his Neon's going to get a lot better as well. I mean, we saw him in just the first couple of rounds. He's had some missed stuns. He's made the stun look like it's a bump.
10 HP in the last 3 duels.
Oh, was he?
Because he got knocked to 10. He got knocked to 10 by Xiao, and then that was his whiff, and then he killed him afterwards.
And then he goes, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep swinging. The man doesn't have a health bar enabled by the looks of things.
9 and 5. Well, he wasn't at the top of the scoreboard, but I reckon he is now.
Oh yeah, he's
We've seen aggression into Dish coming out from FPX, trying to at least get a little bit of information, but I don't think like DRX are exactly keeping where they're going secretive in most of these rounds. It's just these burst plays are just too fast-paced for anyone seemingly on FPX to even react to what they're doing. Now they're going to hear RB. Are they trying to now play the game in a way of just, we're going to use him as bait? Because they've done everything. This is conditioning out from the side of DRX, and then they're going to catch the players on the other side. Sure, it's up against an eco, but no one rotates. Of course they don't until the very last moment. DRX are playing a brilliant game.
They really are. It's the most multifaceted approach is coming out of DRX. It's the fact that we see them condition like that, even when they're leading, even when they're dominating. This team is not going to come in and say, all right, well, this strat works, let's keep doing it till it breaks. They're constantly looking for that extra percentage out of the play, that little bit more to pull them across the line. RB's about, I'm surprised he waited till he wasn't vulnerable anymore, to be honest. Well, he's been going so far. Whole team's gonna be max money next round. Already 1 player dropped. There's 2 for Ardis. What else he can get?
Putting utility down. Crazy shots coming out from Ardis, but the round already looking like it's done, and he's gonna step back into the Molotov. Unfortunate.
Well, you know, the radius is a bit larger than expected at times. 7-2 for DRX. No surprise that they're looking good. This round was just beautiful, though. Oh, okay. Yep. You know, I'll take it this time. I will, because this match, the other one I can argue. This one I can't. I don't know what's going on. I'm almost believing it. Look at the amount of stuff FPX have to work with here. 4 ultimates in play. Ardis on a tour de force, always a scary thing. We're going to hear a pop right away as they look for that little bit of control. A fight, though, from RB up towards Dish. We haven't seen this duel so far, and it's Xiao to win, but only 1. Buzz now taking that top of the scoreboard as he hits double digits on this. And they look to close in with a beautiful flash. Cider is canceled out from being able to even get the info as they come to site.
Oh, exactly where he is as well. All the utility for the easy swing onto Cider. They've already got the rotation through towards the Dish. The flank coming through from Ardis as well. Hoping they can get something. Angels just TP into the top of site. Ardis has found one, and just like that, it completely diminishes. It's left on to Zesh! He hits a couple of shots. It's going to be left now with Ardis in that 1v1. Trying to wrap back around. This was not looking like a winnable round for the side of DRX, but he will land every single shot. Zest with the Red Bull clutch.
That's one of the most beautiful clutches I've seen for a while. This whole game has been full of them. Headshot after headshot, perfectly read. Even at a 4th player, in the sense of the Boombot coming after him. And just calm and collected the entire time. 1 foot in front of the other. Even tries to finish it out with a little bit of a bait. DRX are riding high on this momentum right now. It feels like they cannot make a mistake. And even when RB goes down, right? And then you just see Buzz like, okay, I'm Neon now. And he starts running at people like crazy. Ambitious, I'll say, but it worked 9 times out of 10 for him so far. FPX putting up a fight, but the numbers are traded yet again.
Yeah, the trades have just been so on point. The flash of Artist forces him all the way back off. And B now under the control, unless he's going to hit another smoke shot. Xiao might even be closed in here. They're starting to take that pressure deep within the arcade, but he wins the duel this time.
It's the advantage for FPX. Something to play with. One spotted up close, but Artist deals with him quite quickly. Defuse for 3. FPX will look to build some sort of a foundation for the next half, and I'll be honest with you, Tom, if they don't win this next one, things could come crumbling very quickly, especially with what we've seen of them so far. I mean, RB's aggression has been nuts on this attacking side, and I don't necessarily think that he's going to be able to, play the same game coming into the next half, but then I start to think about Buzz. Normally you see an attack side be a little bit rough on the old Chambers.
Yeah.
They put their numbers up defense. I think Buzz is going to be able to do that, and he's already doing pretty good.
The thing is, though, I don't think most Chambers have a Neon like RB.
Very true.
I think the man has genuinely just turned off all stats, and it's just going to do whatever he needs to for the team. And while straight in again, at this time Artist isn't sticking around. He's like, you know what, nah. You know what, screw you. I'm leaving before anything gets too dangerous. They even have the Prowler to force him back that little further. And Zest, after that multi-frag just a round ago, is already back up. Bear in mind, in the round that he clutched, he used his Nightfall, and he has it again.
It's a well-oiled machine for DRX. You can see they were prepared coming in here today. Seems they can find that 9th round to close things out. The same aggression from RB at the start. They pump the brakes, they look to the other side, and now it seems to be B that's going to be under threat. No stuns for RB, but still the fast lane to play with. And I suspect it's going to be Cider that is in a little bit of trouble here. They've just ulted out the From the Shadows, confirming that no one's around Dish. A little bit of info to play with.
Priming that pit if they were to head towards B instead. Now there's a chance to still hit this shot, but he needs to get out of there, and again, sticks around for far too long. Artist trying to do more than maybe would have been called upon him. Zipan, though, at least trades things back into a workable position. Angel, though, again, just sticking around a little bit long, maybe trying to use the bait of the steps of Zipan. And look at this flank from Buzz. It's perfect, even having the tour de force in the backlines, but I don't think it's needed. Xiao not had the same magic thus far this map, but this would have to be the best of them. They know exactly where he is as well. Completely pincered in.
Into the tour de force, a brave fight to take, and Buzz will get it. A little taunting, I suppose, before he finds that final kill. And a 9th round for DRX. An absolutely incredible half, Tom. This started out 2-0 for FPX. They won the pistol. They won up against a 4-spy, and we said, well, that's 3-0, pretty much guaranteed. Yeah. They finished on 3.
8 rounds in a row on the attack, a 9th to even finish it off. And honestly, I think if you want a masterclass of how to run a Neon within this map, just go back and look at this first half. That was truly beautiful Valorant coming out of the likes of DRX. And honestly, I want to throw this one over to the desk and see if they've got any silver lining for FPX, because at the moment I'm struggling to find one.
Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. Yes, a beautiful map of Valorant so far on Fracture, a beautiful composition, but this is not the Neon composition that everyone else runs. We know the Neon works on this map, but DRX, they decided not to play the Breach, they bring in the Fade, and Jess, everybody makes RB look so good.
I mean, the trouble is as well, we spoke about the fact that they didn't have that Breach counter to it. It kind of felt like they weren't dealing with RB, they were kind of letting him go, and he's still managing to get kills while he's stunning himself. It's super unrefined sort of Neon play, but it's all instinctual. It's all just sort of guttural that he's able to work around the map and just absolutely take scalps. It's very nice to look at because it's exciting. As I said, a little unrefined. There's a little bit of work he can do with it, but he's able to make the complete gap of the fact that FPX don't have a counter for it, which is fair enough because you think about the last time FPX went up against a Neon on this map, it was against Focus. They 13-1'd them. It was almost like there wasn't even another team in the server, so they don't have a lot of recent sort of experience experience against Neon on this map.
I also think while we can talk about RB and the stats are fun, it looks, you know, what have you, I really think their DRX are doing such a good job of setting them up off of the KO and off of the Fade. We talked about Breach and, you know, maybe, but they have set him up so well, Sue.
I mean, Tom and Mitch wanted to know what could possibly bring FPX back into this game, and Doug, it's Artis.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's having himself a day. We were sitting here, and I just looked at both of you, and I went, he's so mechanically gifted.
You did,
like,
yeah.
the kid is so good. Their aim is so on point. And yeah, maybe it is going to take... Guys, get in the backpack. Let's go. I'm going to carry us across the finish line. It may take that to get through this map.
I mean, this is what they did on map number 1. This is what I said on map number 1, is that I don't feel confidence when you are backpacking like that. Xiao put the backpack on, everyone climbed on in, it was the, you know, magic bus ride for all of them. You can't do that again. That's not how you win series.
Well, FPX, they need to find a way to win. Otherwise, we're going to have to go to map 3. But not going to lie, Mitch and Tom, I kind of want to see a map 3. What do you guys think?
Hey, listen, I'm down for a map 3 in this one, Tom. A little bit more of it. Yeah, you're looking for a Yoru on Breeze? Okay, okay. You know, I'll say we mentioned already that over in the analyst desk, I heard Doug say Artis got to be the man to do this for them on FPX. And we had lots of compliments for Buzz on the attack side. He's shown that a chamber can be good, but like you said, Tom, not many teams have that RB Neon. We saw it in just one of the last rounds where he's jumping around like crazy. He's not trying to get a kill. He's trying to get the guy behind him to get a kill.
That's why I'm looking at Zipan, because that's his role within the team. He needs to be that point of contact. We see Angel steal that off of him quite regularly with his own plays, but I need to see the god tier Zipan. I need to see Zipan go kill if they're going to bring this half back.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of demands for FPX if they're going to make it a 2-0 in this series. If not, it's all the way to Breeze. Who knows what the game could look like there. It's already been a different fracture from what we expected. FPX set to take the A side here, though, Tom, and this is very much the correct gamble. DRX are 4 stacked on B.
Yeah, it looks like they're almost set to play retake, though, anyway. Like, they had the trap down, holding on to dish control. This was something designed by DRX to almost work into that retake, and they're waiting for the flank. They're expecting Artis to late push through this direction. And that duel could genuinely decide this round. That single kill could make all the difference. And actually, Artis is not even going to take it. After being brought low, he's just going to switch up and try and go back to the rest of the team.
Yeah, Xiao's going to be joined by his buddy Artis. Everybody now sits inside of main. A stun, nicely connected by RB. It's going to cause some problems as he goes dashing on in with a frenzy.
Ow.
And still, I just think he gets value where he shouldn't. Again and again. FPX locked out, defuse underway. They've got to move now halfway already, and it's just being held down by Stax. 4 kills for this man here in the pistol, and a 10th will be found. That looks like a nail in the coffin of FPX. Double digits when they failed to even get off what we thought they would have 3-0, and now 3-10.
Yeah, no, this has been absolute decimation. I think holding on to that control, retake coming through, again, RB just taking that space and just giving his teammates exactly what they needed to be able to just find these kills. Lovely shots out from Stax as well. There's always a big Stax round within the series. It's every time.
And you see it more on this map because of the agent that he's playing. When he's on a breach, like I said, his utility, and same for Angel on the previous map, those breach pieces of utility were perfect almost every single time.
Unsung hero.
Absolutely. But here on a KO, you're obviously going to be much more instrumental in some of those
his
fights.
Sky as well. I'm a big fan of Stax's Sky when he pulls it out.
Oh, here we go with FPX on pistols. Do I dare? Do I dare to say that DRX look better in this round? They've got better weapons, they've got the shields, and already contact here for Zest was phenomenal in that previous half. He's going to be putting out his Prowler, confirming they're here. There's the flash from Stax, and a quick and clean kill.
Spike down.
Yeah, a lot of information found as well. I think he spotted a couple of other players, so they know that Arcade is the main point of contention. They've left a lurk of Cider on the other side of the map, but he's going to have to face off against Buzz, which probably don't really want to be doing.
Right here.
No, and that's why. Shut down. Spike in the open. I mean, they've retrieved it now as Zipan moves his way up into heaven, but the fragment will keep him at bay. It's not like they can easily get him out of here now, and I think the fight is...
What? What is that?
Teleport's ready.
One enemy remaining. that would be number 5 production. That would be number 5.
I don't think I said anything about that.
No,
I just said
you
DRX
said-
will win the round, and they did.
You said
Looked brilliant.
there doesn't seem to be a way that they can get him out of there easily.
How did like back? Yeah, they couldn't get back, and that wasn't easy. You think a wall bang with a Sheriff's easy? Okay,
looked-
yeah. Well,
looked
Angel,
pretty
sorry
easy.
about that shot back B. Actually, that was easy. That was easy, bro. So just kind of
I'm
step
going
it
to be
up.
honest, I don't think Zipan broke a sweat.
No.
No, not at all.
Not right there. FPX would call the timeout though, because as a team, they're sweating right now. They are miles behind. About to take a full buy, and with a little bit of damage that they've done to DRX, sure, there's an opportunity for this round to go their way, but they cannot be that short-sighted. This is a long-term project. They've got to have their attack side absolutely perfect if they're to have any chance.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, DRX don't really have to invest much into this round. Like, a lot of the time I would almost expect teams to maybe juggle over a few rifles just to try and bolster this buy up a little bit, but you're far enough in the lead that I would much rather just see you save up the extra, go for the pistols, and then just buy back into the next round and just have all the bells and whistles, have whatever you need to try and destroy them. And the fact is, you're going to get the likes of Buzz's Op coming up, which is always going to be something exciting to watch. Mentioned his Chamber. He has been fantastic, but let's be real, every single member of DRX has had impact so far.
Yes, there has been nobody that I would say. I mean, right now, look at the scoreboard.
Top to bottom.
RB is on the bottom of the scoreboard. That will tell you everything. This
Yeah.
guy has been instrumental in winning them this map, and if you were a scoreboard, Steven, he's a trash Neon. So, pretty impressive stuff. I mean, not really a trash. 10-10-6. I think that's pretty good for a Neon even still, but worst on his team, you would think. That's certainly not the case. Flash over, early initiation from DRX. They are in their face. How does he survive every time? His movement is so good. Look at him go!
It's still, eventually they're going to fall. Eventually they're going to go down. I don't think they knew there was a player in that corner. It almost seemed like they were waiting for them, and Xiao eventually will close this one out. But again, that was some pistols, that was some SMGs. I think maybe a Bulldog was thrown into the mix as well. They still get 3 players. It's a decent round for them. Also, the reason Angel didn't shoot him there was because he shadow stepped into that position.
So he's still pulling out the gun.
Yeah, he couldn't shoot.
It's just the speed of DRX. They're so quick getting in there. And you know, Xiao, he's left on like 30, 40 HP. He's one shot to that headhunter. And if that had it connected, you're in a 1v1 that I don't know you win.
1v1 versus Buzz.
And that is the story of your easy round.
Yeah.
Now they've got rifles. Now they've got an op. Let's see how you deal with that. I mean, like I said, FPX need to be nearly flawless on this attack. And that previous round had a lot of concerns in it.
You can see the aggression into Dish again on the north side, just taking that control for the defenders. An aggressive push also from Buzz, just trying to take some of these early fights. And on the other side, that's where the majority of their utility lies. I didn't even see his head peek out.
No, he knew he was shoulder peeking it, right? So he's like, he's just timing it, and I think he got ahead of the server on that one. Artis is down, traded out at least, so the numbers are even. Of course, that was RB to find it. That was in their spawn, by the way.
Oh, where else?
Blitzing down through Dish. Yeah, this is just an RB round. FPX look to take it to A, and again, the right call is made. This is a B stack for the time being as they get aggressive, but look who's just cleared it out. Mako's seeing no one here, so RB starting to slip his way back to the A side.
Oh, Paranoid tries to hit the shot on the timing. Oh, it could be enough. No, actually, Buzz survives, but Zipan has managed to find one core with a nade in hand, though the rest of the team a little bit further away, and well, this time RB will not survive while dancing around at high speed. Rotation coming through from Marco. Of course, Artis already dead, so the information isn't going to be there. But at this point, you kind of have to feel like FPX are going to have a decent idea.
Yeah, and even if they don't, right, they've gotten themselves into a great position where Angel only has to cover the back. He's watching for that. The door has to open, and sure, he probably does die if the player comes just swinging through the door like that. But it's about having these other 2 players staring right at the spike, being able to hold the control, and Mako's almost just reading this correctly that he has to save, especially with the money and especially with no smokes for him.
Do you know what would be funny? If this game ends 13-8, we're going to have 2 13-8s that would be completely different in every way.
Yeah.
One being probably closer than it should have been in the 13-8, and the other one being more dominant than it should have been in the 13-8. So, still a few rounds needed for either side. And what, FPX, not a team you can count out. And I will say, if there was any team I'd have a lot of faith in going into an attack, FPX is right at the top of my list.
Yeah, look, they chose this map. So they, obviously, you know, FPX is a team in general. But when you choose a map, you know there's a good possibility on a map like this that you're going to end up on that attack side second. So you're going to have to kind of slog through those first couple of rounds while your opponents are feeling a bit more comfortable. They've chosen to start attack. But now, in theory, is where things get easier. I, again, just want to get on board with RB. I'll be honest. I don't care about anyone else. These early duels, these early swings, his movement. Look at him go. Look at him. The way he swings left and right. And he knows he's a sacrificial lamb, but his job is to open up space for the rest of his teammates who have pistols. A decent attempt at a south side crunch. 2 kills already.
How did they get so much done with the Frenzy? It's such a ridiculous pistol that they've been able to find damage with. I will say that's the second time now that he's been killed from that same box. So I assume from here onwards they will check that position. Anything more that Zest can get would be great. Ultimately, from this spot, it's not going to be possible. Only 2 players lost. Economy pretty good for FPX.
This is definitely more of a normal round, for sure. When you see DRX coming in with pistols, it plays out as you expect. A couple of kills here, a good idea, a little niche play that if you have that kind of, you think back to Haven, if you were on board with us then, that round that Xiao had with the Sheriff on A long where he's able to just blitz 2 players. Like, if you get a round like that out of one of your guys, you might win the round, for sure. So creating those opportunities is sort of the key thing about those rounds. But you know, most of the time, it's going to just be a couple of kills, get out of there. Now, though, is again where the trouble starts to set in. You've got ultimates online over on both sides, but it's DRX that really have the impact, I suppose, outside of that Viper's Pit. If that goes down on his side, FPX's win rate should be skyrocketing. But then I think about RB, like, just blitzing around inside a Viper's Pit, and I just don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would be something that anyone enjoys, except maybe RB.
Because you want him to be further away, right? You want to keep him as far away as possible. And now he's just like, oh, there he is, and he's behind me.
Yeah, and we've already seen that low HP doesn't affect him either with the triple kill he got on 10 HP. So, yeah, a terrifying prospect. Again, we're going to see this push-up from Buzz. He has taken a lot of control, a deep angle with his rendezvous available for a quick exit. We saw a few almost troublesome spots from Ardis where, okay, he was so successful in some of the early rounds, you can't really blame him, but it stuck around a little bit too long. Utility-wise, though, on this site, there isn't a whole lot. You've got the stuns out of RB, and you also have yourself Zest just putting in whatever he can find. The problem is, you've also had Nightfall on the other side.
Orbital Strike, that's just to try and offset the pace a little bit.
30 seconds left.
Xiao's got himself a corner, but the spike's being dropped now. Good control for Zest, and although he falls, right in position is Mako, ready to take some heads, and he's still alive. Cider surrounded from all angles and taken down immediately. 12-6 we go. It is map point for DRX on their opponent's map pick, and vengeance, it's almost theirs. They could be 23 straight maps, Tom. 23 straight maps, and FPX took the previous one off them. I guess this is what it looks like when you piss them off.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. And I think what we're seeing at the moment from this ultimate is a lot of teams just not really panicking around it anymore. Like, Zest looks so comfortable even though he can't hear anything. He knows the angle he needs to clear. He knows the orbital strike has gone down on the other side, so he can't be hit from behind. Just very, very aware of the angles he's covering and also the angles his teammates are covering. And now Buzz, I'll be honest with you, I think Buzz got bored playing A-main. They didn't challenge A-main for the majority of rounds. He's like, guys, I'm going B. If you want to cover the other side, that's up to you, but I'm going to kill some people now.
Well, he killed at least one, but Zipan's come through and traded out. Still disadvantage for FPX. That Viper's Pit, though, looking to make it towards the site. Showstopper pop right now. Space should be taken, should be won because of it. Nade as well, but that doesn't deter them. Stacks with a flash over top. He's only got a sliver of health, and Cider will deal with him. If they get this pit down, it could change the round entirely. But Zest is way ahead of them, shutting it down and winning the game entirely. 13-6. That is going to be the second map going to DRX.